Oh, how's it going, Bruce? How about we get back into Lighthouse of Guiding Flames, because I think we're very close to getting... I mean, I understand there is no true ending, there are just endings, but we've got 2 of the endings down, and now we've got save points all over the place to make it a lot easier for us to reach those endings, so I think these might be some faster episodes. Might be the last episode. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I do have a guide next to me, like I did in the last one. Just so you know, we are going to be working towards the next ending, and to begin with, we're going to start with I was very angry. And I can't remember if we've done that or not. We did not. I was very angry. Angry? At whom? At myself. My family. Why should I endure something I didn't deserve? It's unfair. It's unjust. Ethani was filled with anger as she stomped her feet on the ground, unable to contain it. Esteban studied her movements closely. It's so unfair. Why did it turn out like that? Unfair. Esteban placed his hand on the girl's head. It's alright. Everything is going to be alright. Thank you. What does it mean to be angry for you? I don't understand. Why are you angry? I don't want things like that to happen. It's not right. The ritual is wrong. It may even be completely useless. The ritual? How can I know if the curse exists at all? Maybe it doesn't, and we're suffering for nothing. It's wrong. We have to do something, Mr. Esteban. We need to save my village. Now I don't understand you. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably confused you, right? You don't have to hold it in, Ethani. If you want to change something, act on it. Act on it. So, that's what you were thinking about when you embarked on your journey? Let's see what the fire lamp has to say about it. It can speak? Not quite. Look. Esteban slightly opened the lamp's glass door. Orange balls of light hurried up outside, swirling around, dancing in the air. Their movement was accompanied by a soft glow. It's so pretty. Wait, haven't we done this bit? No. Look closely. Flames stopped moving chaotically and gathered under the ceiling. Ethani thought they might hang there like stars, but they started moving again, aligning themselves into some sort of a figure. What are they doing? They're showing you your hidden hopes and dreams. Ethani followed the flames with her eyes wide and her mouth agape. They're wonderful. As wonderful as any dream. At last the flames stopped again. Is this a sword? Looks like it. Mr. Esteban, am I aggressive? Aggressive? No, of course not. Then why do I need a sword? Should I go on a raid to capture territories and collect tributes? I think this blade symbolizes your desire to fight. Simply speaking, you want to bravely meet your foe face to face, no matter who they are. Wow. Who might be your foe, Ethani? My foe? The deity, obviously, because of it, islanders have to perform the ritual. But Ethani somehow couldn't agree with her thoughts. Her main foe was her own fears and doubts. It was them she wanted to cut to pieces, to destroy them and bravely return to her family. Ah, so that's what you wanted. You wanted to struggle. But I'm not sure. Believe the fire lamp. It knows everything about the dream seafarers carry. I'll try. Ethani looked at the blade with awe. She felt safe. She'll fear no god with such a weapon. But Ethani needed to pull through without its help. She'll do her best. Next day, that's how Ethani had learned a lot about the lamp. The flames warmed her wounded heart a bit. Next day. Alright, let's move. Skipping to the next choice, we have I want to look. We've done that one though, so we can keep skipping. And then our next choice is going to be Fort. Alright, let's see what happens. They have their own struggles, I think. You don't sound too sure. That's because I'm not. I want to believe they'd fight until the end, just like the heroes from the tales, but the girl killed her lips. They've abandoned me, left me all alone, sacrificed me. What a jolly bunch. Well, if you want me to help you deal with them, just say the word. Really? Well, I decided to visit Esteban when he had a visitor for a reason, after all. Oh, please help me. Sure, it's just I'm so lazy and too old for this sort of... never mind. What was I talking about? You don't understand what people feel when they're in danger, right? I do. I'm destined to die, you know. Sort of. I'm very scared. So you see danger as nothing more than a source of fear. Oh, don't worry, you'll see for yourself in just a moment. Ethani was about to ask another question, but the world before her eyes fell into darkness before she could do so. Did Mr. Araki kill her? She shouldn't have called him a ghost. He must have taken offense. Oh no, I wasn't offended. Open your eyes. Ethani parted her eyelids without arguing and found herself on the sandy shore, and an azure water surface spread before the girl. It was so vast and beautiful that Ethani stopped breathing for a second in awe. It took her a while to realize she was no longer in Esteban's lands, but in some other place. And that meant... My wound, I'll die. What did you do, Mr. Araki? Calm down. But where will I get new blood if I lose too much? Will you give me some of yours, Mr. Araki? Stop panicking, you're not going to die. We're still at the lighthouse. I'm just showing you a realistic picture. So that's what it is. Alright, my blood seems to still be there. Of course it is. Okay, let me explain what's going on. We'll play a game. A game? Yes, the rules are quite simple. I'm sure you'll like it. Ethani wasn't sure she'd like Araki's game, considering the fact that his job was trying to kill his guests, according to his own words. But since she asked for his help, Ethani decided she won't back down easily. So what should I do? Take a rest. And that's it? Yes, relax, you'll see for yourself. Ethani sat in the sand and faked looking at the sea, while looking around her with caution, to see if someone was about to attack her. Mr. Araki, for example. Time passed and nothing happened, so Ethani got bored of being careful. She relaxed and let the beautiful scenery carry her into the world of happy thoughts and fantasies. Soon she got bored of sitting around, and then she saw them. 4 straw dolls were lying in the sand near the girl. Ethani should have gotten scared of them, or at least felt sad, since she still remembered the sensation of pointy needles piercing her fingers at the time she was making similar dolls. But Ethani was happy. They're so pretty. The dolls didn't resemble those bloodied monsters from the dungeons. On the contrary, they were clean and tidy, decorated with flowers and fancy glowing beads. So cool. You can take them. Really? Of course, they were put here specially for you. Ethani laughed happily, gathering the dolls in her hands and pressing them to her chest. It's so wonderful. The girl didn't feel lonely anymore at the deserted shore. The dolls were beautiful and Ethani immediately liked them. You'll be the sea wolf, you'll be the godslayer, you'll be the stormbreaker, and you'll be the cutie pie. Ethani lost track of time while playing and got gradually more attached to her dolls, falling in love with them. Ethani wondered if she could take them to her lighthouse. She really wanted to show Esteban her new friends. For a moment, Ethani thought that bright yellow straw wilted, as if it was filled with some black poison from the inside. Mr. Araki? Mr. Araki, there's something wrong. Oh well, seems like your time ran out. Huh? The dolls are dying, along with you. Ethani let her arms hang in horror, but she still held her new friends. They didn't slip from her fingers, as if stuck to her skin. What's going on, Mr. Araki? A curse was put on you and your dolls. You'll die, but there's a way out. What is it? Choose one of the dolls. Get rid of her. Well, throw it into the sea. Don't worry, you'll be able to do it. But having a hard time picking? Yes, I feel bad for all of them. Is there no other way? No, you have to get rid of one. The others will stay with you. The girl looked at every doll with tears in her eyes. She managed to get attached to them, and she couldn't imagine picking just one of them. She loved them all equally. Oh wow, what a lesson. Just like how her parents had to pick her. I can't decide? No, they're all precious to me. Let me help you then. Throw away the one with the red flowers. No, I can't throw her away. Why? I don't know. It's as good as the other 3. It's unfair. So that means you'll just sit and wait for your death? It makes no sense. That way you'll lose all of them. But I still can't. In the meantime, Ethani's dolls turned almost completely black. Flowers, they were decorated with, wilted and fell into the sand as dry, curled up petals. The beads became colourless. They cracked and were turning to dust, flying away like ash from a funeral pyre. Ethani felt extremely weak. Nausea hit her and the world started spinning. What's happening? Like I said, you're dying. Both you and your dolls are in grave danger. Do you feel the death's touch? Ethani only felt sick. The dolls were already black as soot, and that blackness started spreading to the girl's arms. Ethani tried to throw away her toys, but they continued to stick to her palms. Black mass didn't stop at Ethani's arms, spreading higher and higher to her neck. No. Just a little more and the pitch black liquid would spread to Ethani's face. Will fill her mouth, her ears, and eyes. Throw it away. Ethani bit her lip. It was scary. She was so scared of dying. But throwing away her new friend like that... Never mind, it's already too late. The black miasma that was once the dolls something started moving around, something white and disgusting. Ethani wanted to scream, but she couldn't. Darkness washed over her, and then... The sun, the sea, the beach, the 4 dolls on the shore. What? Again? Why not? I'm tired, though. Tired? You... Don't overheat. I know it wasn't the most pleasurable experience, but it was your indecisiveness that led to it. Indecisiveness? You knew you would die, but you still couldn't sacrifice a doll. It's unfair. It's cruel. Danger is always cruel, but it teaches you a valuable life lesson, doesn't it? Ethani didn't reply and looked at the dolls. Let's try one more time, and then we'll call it a day. Am I gonna die again? Yes, the dolls too, but everything will be alright if you throw away the one with the red flowers into the sea. The girl bit her lower lip. She didn't want to die, no matter what. But she also felt bad for the dolls. They were so beautiful and innocent, yet they would turn black sticky goo very soon. It's wrong. I have to save them, but the choice is yours. A choice, a very tough choice. Sacrifice one to save the others. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Ethani picked up the dolls decorated with red flowers. It was painful and hard. The girl's heart was screaming, but she had to do it. I'm sorry. Sometimes there's just no other choice, right? The girl raised her hand and threw the straw doll into the sea. It arched across the sky and landed silently on the water's surface. For a moment, Ethani thought that she saw the water turn red. And then she returned to the familiar dark shore near the lighthouse. Welcome back. I didn't like your game. I made no promises you'd like it. I promised to show you the other side of danger. I don't understand. Tough decisions. You and your dolls were in grave danger. You had to choose one, so you would save the majority. I did something inexcusable. Does that mean you like the scenario when everybody dies better? No, but... Well, here's your answer. The keeper poked Ethani with his finger once again. Danger means struggle. Not the physical one, but also mental. Struggle. Ethani got lost in thought. She had to make a difficult choice. She hesitated, suffered, endured, and in the end chose to save the other 3 dolls and herself. Did her parents feel the same? Were they torn by doubts? Did they suffer? But still make a choice. It must be hard on them. I want to help them. Danger means struggle. In the game I showed you, the rules were special. In real life, you can bend those rules. Perhaps there is another way to survive without sacrificing any of the dolls, but it's very hard to find it. I see. Now Ethani understood the feelings of her parents a bit better, so her hate for them weakened. Maybe she should ask them to look for a solution together. Well, I guess I've said and shown all I could. I got to admit, it was quite entertaining, but alas, my path is waiting for me. Soon, I'll be reincarnated. Aren't you afraid? Why would I be? I just follow the rules of being, and we're done with that anyway, so moving on to the next one. How can I stop the fear? Let's do it. How can I stop being scared? I don't want to. Are you scared? Well, it's only human to get scared. Graham stepped away from the lamp, opened the window and put her hands on the windowsill. Her posture exuded tranquility and wisdom that Ethani had yet to master. A human being is bound to feel fear as long as they live. They would always doubt themselves and despise themselves for being a coward. But they still live on, facing more and more sources of their fears. You know, I'm actually scared of the lampfire. Just don't tell Esteban. Doesn't it look scary to you? Ugh. It's so bright, it reaches people from the other world. You can't look at it without risking losing your sight. But it's still beautiful. It contains the feelings of seafarers, their courage and other feelings that help fight the fear of unknown. The lamp is amazing. I think we all carry a similar lamp inside ourselves. What do you mean? We all have our own fire that helps us move forward despite all the dangers hidden at sea. Some are faint, barely visible, and some are blindingly bright. Graham smirked. The lamp's light gave her eyes an amber glint. But it definitely exists. You just have to not give up and look for it inside yourself. Then every fear will seem trivial. Ethani carefully pressed her hands to her chest, as if she was afraid to scare off the little fire that was burning inside her. Yes, I'm weak. I'm afraid of many things. I'm afraid of the lamp. I'm afraid of dying at some dangerous sea. I'm afraid of heights. Afraid of heights? You? You always enter the lighthouse through the top exit. Graham snorted and her smirk widened. We're all cowards in our own way. There's nothing special about my weakness. It's just, you know, I'm not the best at talking big like that. I'm used to showing, not telling. Showing? Yeah, that's why when I'm faced with my fear, Graham's smirk becomes carnivorous. There. And so the female traveller got onto the windowsill in one jump and then flew out of the window. Miss Graham? Ethani panicked and ran down the stairs, almost tripping over and flying head first. Did something happen? Miss Graham! Miss Graham! What happened? She went mad. She jumped out the window. What? Again? Oh, don't worry about it. She's fine. She just does that. Esteban led the still stunned Ethani outside. Graham was waiting for them with hands at her sides and a victorious smile. See? But how did you do that? It's a secret. Why are you scaring this little girl like that? I'm not scaring her. I'm practicing what I preach. Practicing madness? Practicing freedom. Look, Ethani, you can be scared and have doubts, and then still rush forward. And woohoo! Well, like in The Sims, your woohoos will end up hurting you at some point. Not sure I understand, but you just have to act, right? Find a fire inside and jump. You can look at it that way. You just have to know where you're jumping to. Just jump. Okay, I get it. I'm not sure you're supposed to take it literally. Ah, come on. Yeah, she's absolutely right. Just jump. Jump. After jumping around for a while, Graham said she had to leave. Ethani didn't want to part with the cheerful traveller, but trying to hold Graham in the lighthouse was similar to putting a free bird in the confines of a cage. Ethani was grateful to Graham for her wise words. Everyone has something they fear, even courageous travellers. The most important thing is to move forward despite that. Just jump. The doubts in the girl's heart cleared as if a magic lamp lighted it up. Time to skip ahead some more. I want to correct a mistake. This should be our last choice. And if we've done it right, we should be on a different ending that we haven't seen yet. Wonderful words. Thank you. The girl was afraid of the dark sea, but they couldn't stay at the lighthouse forever. And not just because of the rules. Ethani wanted to change. Her heart told her to venture into the endless water's surface, as if it was a sailor who couldn't see his life without the distant lands. A new future awaited the girl. The right future. Ethani, I have a gift for you. Oh, you shouldn't have. I can't take away your alarm clock. I won't give you my alarm clock. Oh, we've done this, so we can skip ahead. Ethani, I'm glad we've met, and now you'll be able to walk the right path. It'll be tough, but I believe in you. You'll pull through. I too don't like the word farewell, but the keeper must stay at the lighthouse. I hope the help I offered you won't go to waste. Have faith, Ethani. As long as you believe in it, everything will be alright. You're right. You're right about everything, Mr. Esteban. The sun was hiding behind the sparkling orange horizon. Time was ticking away. I've made my decision. I'm tired of accepting my faith and being an observer. I'm tired of idleness. I've had enough. Ethani? Why'd you give that brooch to me? To show me the way. Thank you, now I understand. I was worried about my baby. I was lacking courage, but I can't go on. I will save you. Wait, what's happening? Is our sister going to sacrifice herself? They decided to escape, to take Ethani with themselves and flee the island while they can. Brother bribed the captain of one of the merchant ships. The sailor promised to take them to the mainland. Unfortunately, they were only able to scrape the sum needed right before the casting day. Was it a cruel sneer of fate, or was it their inevitable doom? Why so late? But a chance was still a chance. Alas, it slipped away like a splashing wave that returned to the sea's worm. Time was flowing, and the ship never came. Why? They prepared themselves mentally. They were ready. They packed all their necessities and hid them at the graveyard, where no islander would dare go. Unfortunately, help never came. Oh man, this is going badly. She had a bad premonition from the start. Intuition was her strong suit, and warning bells rang in her head that day too. Their parents believed in the ritual, but she was always skeptical towards curses. She thought they were just silly superstitions. However, in a village that was cut off from the outside world, any criticism towards centuries-old tradition could end up in stoning. She went numb from fear when Ethani took her place as the sacrifice. She wanted to object, but then thought about her child. Did she have a right to decide its destiny? Kill it before giving birth? Words got stuck in her throat. Her vision became dark. She was angry at herself, but she was afraid to act. What a pitiful sight. So we're playing as a sister now. Oh, I got a frame rate counter in the top left hand corner. Apologies for that. Maybe I can crop it out. She waited and waited, but the ship didn't come. What if it would never arrive? Her brother was silent about it. Just said that the casts gave them an advantage. It'd be easier to carry a small weakened girl than when they free her from the dungeon. He didn't give up on escaping, going as far as bribing the smith so he would damage the cell bars, and still, the ship didn't come. The ship didn't come. There was almost no time left. Well, we see where this is going. Ethani won't die. Ethani's a brave girl, ready to sacrifice herself for the sake of family. She can't die just like that. I'll save her. Those are the thoughts that resounded in her head. I'll save Ethani, even if I have to sacrifice someone else to achieve it. She was furiously tearing apart the dark brown cloth of the ritual costume. You won't object, right, Mum? Why don't you take Ethani's place? She tore at the cloak, sliced it with a knife into ugly stripes that resembled the wilted leaves of a dying plant. The ritual, the deity, they don't exist. It's just a silly piece of fiction, a thing of the past. You shouldn't fear the past. It's already gone and it will never come back. Haha, filthy rags, I don't need you anymore. Ethani doesn't have to die because of some stupid ancient story. Don't you think so, Mum? She knew how painful the previous ritual was for her mother, how a beautiful, always smiling woman turned into a ghost. She knew that and absorbed some of her mother's lamentations, but she had enough. The ritual must be stopped at any price. She tried to find her mother, but her father stood in her way. According to the ritual's rules, family of the sacrifice must gather at the old tower on the night of the third day. But her dad had probably felt something was wrong, so he didn't hurry. Don't do anything stupid. Anything stupid? That ritual was the stupidest thing ever, but she didn't say that out loud. It was useless. Dad wasn't going to listen to her anyway. You don't understand what you're doing. Oh no, she did understand. She was going to fight. However, she failed once again. Father kicked the knife out of her hand with ease and then locked her up in the attic. Could it be that she would be useless again? Could it be? No. What's up with these thoughts? Was it the bad influence of the dark room and the helplessness she felt? Or was it despair from the fact that her ship never came? Fear for her child? Fear for Ethani? Was there a way out? Did the curse really exist, or was it just a stupid superstition from a bunch of old madmen? Should she try to save Ethani? Or should she avoid risking the life of her child? After all, everything was useless without the ship. She continued to bang on the attic's door until she was completely exhausted. Her arms hurt. Her throat was dry. What to do? The world around her turned into a grey mist. And a brooch appeared in her hand. What's this? Where did it come from? She was clueless. And then someone else's feelings and memories rushed into her. She saw an amazing scenery, almost out of a fairy tale. She felt the warmth of an unknown drink. She averted her gaze from a blindingly bright yellow flame. She saw what Ethani saw, as if the brooch that appeared out of thin air contained a fragment of the little girl's soul. Now everything was clear. Everything fell into place. She knew what she needed to do. Her heart was filled with courage. Everyone was trying to help Ethani. You were always on her side. You showed her the right way. Thank you. Now I can also see my desired destination. Now I can save my little sister. At least I have to try. To find the courage and that warm light and then move forward. Only forward. There was no time to doubt anything. So she didn't hesitate. She won't be stopped by some dark attic. She won't be stopped by her father. The curse won't scare her, because it didn't exist. There was no curse, no vengeful deity. To hell with it. Ugh. A powerful blow sent the door flying open. Well, man, she just went beast mode.